Beep, 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 beep. I think the robot, voiced by Mel Blanc, does something like that. Welcome, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. This time I'm coming at you for, you guessed it, yet again another retro VHS showcasing video. I came across this recently, priced at a little more expensive than I would have liked it to been, and I pondered it. I'm like, well, how often do I come across this, one of the first North American VHS releases of this title? Not very often, so I went for it and paid the $4 for this VHS, coming your way to showcase one of the original, if not the original, North American VHS release of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, basically the feature-length pilot episode of the, was it late 70s, early 80s television show based on the classic character of Buck Rogers. Taking a look at the top of one of the spines, we can see copyright 1981, MCA Video Cassette Incorporated, all rights reserved. Printed in USA. Taking a closer look at the front cover, the whole packaging is more or less this yellow color. What's interesting about a release like this is, it was never, I don't know if like Battlestar Galactica, if they would have put out a theatrical version of the pilot in the theater for this one. I don't know the history of this show and this pilot very good, but at any rate, at some point they made this artwork. I suppose they would have had to make the artwork to put it in newspaper ads or whatever for the TV show and the pilot of the TV show, but we've got this really cool cover art here with your main characters and this guy and that guy. Not being very familiar with this show, I don't know really who's who, but I would ponder a guess and say the guy in the center is Buck Rogers. I do actually own the whole series on DVD, and I watched it a little bit way back when, probably when it was new or relatively new on TV. I just haven't watched much of the DVD full series. It was just one season. It might have just been one or two, maybe just one season of this show. After the success of Battlestar Galactica, I think it was it Stu Phillips? Yeah, Stu Phillips, the producer of so many shows, tried out Buck Rogers, and I don't think it really worked out for him in his favor. Not to say that it isn't really cool. And as a kid, young kid, I kind of did like the robot, and being a kid who liked robots, so that was pretty cool. But the artwork's got some lightning bolts, which is really cool. Nice 1930s feel to the artwork. Below the artwork, we can see Buck Rogers in kind of a steel metalish font thing going on, and then in a boring black thing font we got in the 25th century. I guess that's the whole title, Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Abbreviated credits can be found underneath in the ancient. This is probably the very first logo for MCA VHS releases, this Video Cassette Incorporated MCA logo. I think that's the first logo for MCA Video Cassette releases. Can also see some tape. I don't know why there's just random frickin' Scotch tape placed throughout the the cover here, but that's what it is. Taking a look at the right spine, I can see at the very top what I can only assume is a video store sticker indicating something, maybe for science fiction department. Same yellowish color, which I guess kind of catches the eye. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Then we've got presumably another video store sticker indicating that's for its easy cataloging in the video store, 5449. It's stuck on there, and there's a piece of tape over it to make sure that little label doesn't come off in the future. And it's successful because it's now the 21st century, 2024, and that sticker is still on there, so way to go, sticker. Got a VHS down there, VHS catalog number 55019. Taking a look at the left spine, we've already seen this, the top of the spine. Well, I'm sure it's the same on the other one, but it was covered up by the sticker. On the top of the spine, Video Cassette Incorporated, MCA, and the copyright information that we've already read can be seen there. Same thing, Buck Rogers in the 25th century. And VHS and catalog number can be found towards the bottom of this slightly more mangled spine. Top of this particular VHS looks like this. Taking a look at the back, we've got Buck Rogers in the 25th century with the metal font in the boring in the 25th century black font Got two, very simple. I love these ancient frickin', MCA VHS releases. Just very simple. Two just random pictures there. First one is on the top with, I think that's Buck Rogers and the robot there. We can see color, 88 minutes, and PG. This space age marvel, based on the famous 1930s comic strip, which launched an era of science fiction heroes, is studded with spectacular special effects. Gil Gerard stars as Buck Rogers, an astronaut circa 1987 who is time warped 5 centuries into the future. Here, Buck finds himself aboard the flagship of the computer-run Draconian Empire, where his adventures are just beginning. Buck is soon to realize that the world, as he knew it, no longer exists. Experience this fantastic adventure with the world's original superhero. The other image of the two images there is presumably Buck Rogers and Jason Voorhees' sister there, as she would later go on to be featured in the abysmal Jason Goes to Hell from 1993. I'm pretty sure it's the same chick. On the bottom of the back cover we can see your all-important warning copyright information, and I think the largest version of this video cassette incorporated MCA logo that you'll find on this release. And also, I don't know if this address would have changed or if it's the same still now in the 21st century. 70 Universal City Plaza, Universal City, California, 91608. Taking a look at the VHS cassette, yes, I did, if you notice, I did do a little bit of a cheat on the title of this video. This has come up before in previous, I think it's also Universal, ancient VHS, Universal VHS showcasings, where you've had a cover that was older and the cassette itself had a more newer sticker. If you look at the sticker, you can see this MCA home video logo is a different logo. That's the one they'd come up with for the mid to late 80s. I think they did that in the mid 80s and it would last all the way until 1989. I think they changed it for the VHS releases in 1990. But yeah, this you can even see here. It says copyright 1984, MCA Home Video Incorporated, all rights reserved. Obviously it's a different year than the 1981 on the spine, so I did a little bit of a cheat with the title of this video, but I figured since I've got a 1981 cover that I can call it a 1981 release, even though technically it's probably a 1984 release because it's got a 1984 VHS cassette probably, but this, I mean, it's in a 1981 sleeve, so I mean, what do you do? I mean, I guess you could say, it's a long title, you could say, yeah, 1981 sleeve, a 1984 VHS, but I cheated and I just said it's a 1981 release. You can see the information there, Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Information there, and 1 hour 28 minutes. I think on the cover, didn't they say, they just said 88 minutes, and then on the VHS it's 1 hour and 28 minutes. Just be rest assured it's the same thing, said two different ways. PG, you've got a Dolby logo there. I would assume that there's a Dolby system on the linear. I don't think this would be hi-fi. There's no indication of hi-fi, so you've got the Dolby system to reduce the hiss on the audio track of this VHS release, presumably. All important FBI copyright warning information. You've got original from the 80s, possibly early to mid 80s. Frickin' original Be Kind, Please Rewind sticker with a smiley face. In this case, if you're holding the cassette the way I am and looking at it the way I am, it's almost an upside down smiley face, which would indicate sadness, but maybe when they put it on there they weren't thinking about that, or maybe they had it the other way, or who knows what. They're just earning minimum wage, just doing a frickin' job. They'll just stick the sticker on. As long as you can read it, it's good enough for them. Taking a look at the spine, as we can see, it's a TS90 cassette, would most likely mean 90 minutes worth of tape included on there, which will just barely cover the 1 hour and 28 minutes running time. Buck Rogers in the 25th century can be read there. And unlike the top label, which is really faded out, you can see, I don't know, hopefully you can see it on the photo, the watermark that MCA, or in this case, well, yeah, MCA Home Video did, probably since day one, can be seen more visible here. It's just just saying the same thing over and over, MCA Home Video or whatever incorporated. Can't really see the whole gist of it on the spine label because it's such a small area to work with. But yeah, I'm looking at the top one, and it's pretty much, if it's there at all, it's all faded to like you can't even tell it was ever there to begin with. But you also got that trusty video store catalog sticker stuck on there with tape over it. Lasted all these decades into the 21st century. 5449 is their number they gave it to, I guess, categorize it in the video store shelves. MCA, this is the mid to late, once again, mid to late 80s MCA Home Video logo. We can see, of course, copyright 1984, MCA Home Video and corporate all rights reserved, printed in USA. Yeah, so basically this is how good I am of a producer of videos on YouTube. I paid $4 so you guys could see this, but I mean, I kind of paid $4 so I could have it as well. It kind of, it worked both ways, and it's something I can pay $4 to have. In addition, pay $4 for you guys to see it. I kind of paid $2 to have it and $2 to have you guys see it. I am interested in actually watching this VHS version, and maybe it'll get me, I don't know why the hell, way back, it was over 10 years ago or whatever, I bought, like I say, the complete series, which might just be one season of this on DVD, and started it back then, and for some reason just, whatever, it became summer and I was outdoors more often, but I stopped watching it. It seems like I started this twice and just never did the whole thing or finished it or did much of it at all. So maybe I can watch this, this pilot on this VHS, and it'll whet my appetite to watch actually the whole frickin' series that I've got on DVD that I got, back in probably it was probably the 21st century when I bought the DVD collection, I would imagine. But anyway, yeah, I actually saw this show. I can remember the opening, the opening is really iconic of this TV series, and I can remember probably watching it. I don't know if I would have, I might have been watching it during its original run, back in whatever, it was maybe 79 into 1980 or whatever. But if I didn't watch it in its original run, it was reruns that were happening, right after its original run in the early 80s or whatever. But I can remember seeing the opening title sequence as a little kid on the old television in probably the early or mid, probably the early 80s. So that's my little bit of brief history with the show. I should really watch the whole damn show since I own the whole damn show. Hope you guys enjoyed this showcasing. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, we'll catch you on the next video.